YouTube, Joe here. So today we're going to be doing a pressure cooker recipe. You'll obviously need a pressure cooker. That's the 8 quart model, I think. You'll need 6 potatoes, 4 or 5 carrots, a pound or pound and a half ham steak, some salt, some pepper, it's over there, a can of chicken broth, or if you've got your own homemade chicken broth, use that too. You need roughly 14 ounces. So, some minced onion, dried, or you can use fresh, whatever you prefer. I have this, so I'll use this. And you're going to need about a pound of green beans, or roughly 4 cups. This recipe is ridiculously easy and it's ridiculously good, and it's actually pretty good for you too. Essentially we are making ham and veggies. So without further ado, we need to get all these peeled, and we'll dice up the potatoes here in about 1-inch cubes or so. The carrots, we'll just cut them in half, and the ham steak, cut it in half. Throw this sucker in a pressure cooker for 5 minutes and we're done. It's literally that easy. So let's get to this. After a drink. Bit of a brown spot there, we'll get rid of that. There we go. So what we'll do, we'll cut that in half. Cut the halves in half, so quarter it. Line those bad boys up and take about 1-inch chops, pop them into some water. I put them into water to help prevent browning. You can also use some water with a bit of lemon in it if you prefer. Just plain water works for me. They're not going to be sitting in there but for a couple minutes. There you go. And so on. That's good enough. Okay, so now what we're going to do, we are going to drain these potatoes here. And then we're going to head over to the pressure cooker. Get this bad boy cooking. Okay, this is how easy this recipe is. You take your potatoes, dump them in. Take your carrots, dump them in. We've got about 4 cups of the green beans here. We use frozen. You can use fresh if you got them. Absolutely, it'd be delicious. Throw them in. So now what we're going to do, we are going to measure out about I'd say a heaping teaspoon here of salt. Delightful. Do the same with onion. Mmm. Oh, yeah. Gonna take our can of broth here. Again, if you've got fresh, by all means, use it. This is the most difficult step. There you go. I dump it all over the place. Okay, so there we go. And now I will take a dash of pepper here. Pepper it to taste. I would say there's no measurement really on that one. There's that. Okay, and now we're going to take our ham steak. I did go ahead and take a liberty in cutting it in half. The reason I do that is because there's two of us, and typically half a ham steak works perfectly. We'll split that, so we'll each have a quarter of the ham steak. So it makes it just easier for prepping later on. You could cut it into quarters if you want. Ultimately, you do what you want. So now comes the pressure cooking part. We've cleaned the pressure cooker. We've popped this off. Whoops. Made sure that the hole there isn't obstructed, because if you end up obstructing that, you're going to have pressure problems. So that's all set there. And of course, the silicone gasket is in place in all the locations. We'll just line this bad boy up. Press down, get that air out. Slide it over. Take the weight. I typically will pop it and give it a spin just to make sure it's on there. And turn this bad boy up on high heat. Now the way a pressure cooker works is you get this boiling inside on the maximum heat setting you've got. Then once steam starts blowing out of here and popping it up and down, you turn the heat down. I believe with this recipe we typically turn it down to about half. So on our range it's we go from high, which is 10, down to 5 or 6 depending. So we're just going to let this pressurize, and we're going to cook this. Now the best part about this recipe, you cook this 5 minutes. That's it. And then it's done, ready to serve, and it is awesome. So we're going to see you in just a couple minutes. So the first step of my pressure cooker anyway is this lock is going to seal here any second. There it goes. Almost. Come on, you can do it. There it is. Okay, so you see it's raised up. It's locked now. So now it's sealed off a vent inside of here. So now the steam is going to try to move this one. And that's what we're waiting on. You can see if you it's building up inside there. So what we're going to do is we're going to wait for this to start popping around. And then from the moment this starts popping around, we're going to take it down to level 5. And then we're going to set the timer for 5 minutes. That's all it takes to cook all those vegetables. And the ham steak is already cooked. But it will heat it up and extract some of those good juices and help flavor the whole pot of veggies. I wish you guys could smell it, because this stuff, it smells so good. And away it goes. That's what you're looking for. So now we're going to turn this down to, I'm going to turn it down to 6 to start out with, actually. We're going to leave it on the high end a bit. You don't need it to be constantly bouncing, because you don't want all your liquid out of there to evaporate. That's what kills pressure cookers, is when there's no water in there to create the steam. So we're just going to let this sit now. We'll set the timer. 5 minutes. And in 5 minutes, it's going to be chow time. Okay, there we go. Kill that. Turn this off. Now what we're going to do is we are going to take this to the sink and we are going to crash cool it. You'll know what I'm talking about here in just a second. Okay, so here we are in the sink. So with a pressure cooker, you can't just lift this up. If you pull that off, it's going to blow steam out. It's going to burn your hand. Plus everything inside is going to foam up. It's going to create a problem. Plus this little mechanism here that popped up, that's actually a lock. So you cannot unlock this thing. So what you got to do is some recipes call for crash cooling, which is what we're going to do here. Some recipes call for it to just, let it sit and let it naturally depressurize. But we're hungry. It's time to eat. So we're going to put on some cold water, sorry. Cool, cold, whatever. It's cold here. And you literally just run cold water along the outside. If you keep your eye on this, in just a matter of seconds, it's going to drop out. And essentially what you're doing is you're speed depressurizing the whole thing. So see, there it goes. That's all you need. You can pop that off. It's not going to hurt you. Make sure to set that somewhere that's you can set something incredibly hot on. And here we go. Voila! So I'm going to move this over back to the stove to serve it up. Okay, we're going to take one of these steaks, set it aside, take the other, chop that bad boy in half. Half on one, half on the other. Okay, look at that. Big scoop from the middle. Don't need that big old one there. Get some more green beans in there. Not too shabby, huh? This one's going to the starving girlfriend just off camera, or else I'm going to be in trouble. Woohoo! So folks, it is just that easy to make a delicious dinner. Ham and veggies in the pressure cooker. You saw it took about 5 minutes. And again, because this is what it is, I got to torch you just a little bit. Oh yeah. It's fabulous. Add a little bit of salt, pepper, and voila. So cheers, thanks for watching guys, and we'll see you in the next installment of Cooking with Joe.